Welcome, everybody, to Over and Under, our new podcast where we try to help you beat the sports books. And that is very, very difficult at times. Sometimes it's very easy to get lucky. We're pretty good at it. I've actually been doing it for about 30 years. My little nephew here has been at it probably about, 10 years?
About it, yeah.
And we've been pretty successful last year. Just betting like $20, $30 a pop. I made like $3,800. Hit a few parlays. I'm old school, so I'm not too into the new exotic bets that they got, like how many yards a quarterback's going to pass for, how many yards a wide receiver's going to catch, a running back runs for this and that. He's actually really good at it. I'm good at just picking games. That's my forte. I love it. I get an adrenaline rush off of doing it, and I just wanted to help people out there who have the same enthusiastic feelings towards football as I do. So we're going to get started today on our picks, and hopefully, like I said, we'll be able to help you out. And please gamble responsibly. That's the main thing I want to get across.
Our first game is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cincinnati Bengals. With this one, Joe Burrow, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, 6.5. I'm going to take the Bengals there on the over.
Well, I'm not going to bet the over. You know I don't bet overs. I'm just going to pick the winner with the points. And I like the Steelers in this one. And give me 6.5 and take the Steelers. The reason I like the Steelers, they got an excellent coach. They got a good running game. They got a great defense. I know that's going to be a little bit shaky with Trubisky starting, but I like this. Plus, it's a divisional game. Divisional games are normally close, and they're very hard to pick. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Steelers in the points. I just don't see them losing by more than 6.5 points.
Okay, our second game, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Detroit Lions. I think I'm going to take the money line here. Jalen Hurts. Detroit had a weak defense last year. They didn't make many offseason moves. I think I'm going to take the money line Philly there.
That's a pretty good bet, and I'm going to go the opposite. And here I'm going to tell you why. Last year, Detroit was the team that covered more than any other team in the NFL. They covered the spread. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Detroit at home and take the points.
With the 4.5?
Yeah, I'm taking the 4.5 in Detroit, and hopefully they'll come through for me. They had some really, really close games last year, and like I said, they covered more than anybody else in the NFL last year. So I'm hopefully they'll do the same this year and start out good and treat us right and cover for me.
All right. Our next one is the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. Matt Ryan, new quarterback with the Colts. It's a new look, new system for him. I think I'm going to take the Colts on the money line there. That's a big money line. But I feel that's going to be a close game there. That's a division game, of course, 2, start of the season. I'm going to take the Colts on the money line.
That's one we're going to have to agree on. The Colts, they were tough last year. They just had an inconsistent quarterback with Carson Wentz. They got somebody now that I think can do a good job. He did a good job when he was at Atlanta. And they got some high hopes, obviously. They're favored by 7.5 on the road in a divisional game. You hardly ever see that. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Colts and give up the points.
All right, our next one is the New Orleans Saints against the Atlanta Falcons. Both teams are in a transition. I'm going to take the Falcons at home here. Pretty decent money line on both, but I'm going to take the underdog Falcons on the money line on this one.
I'm going to have to go the opposite. I kind of like the Saints. They have a tough defense. They beat Brady twice last year. They're tough. Their defense is tough. Winston, if he plays good, they can actually win that division. I really, truly believe that. Atlanta's got a new quarterback, Mariota. I don't see them changing much from last year. They wasn't very good last year. I don't think they're going to be too good this year. And I think the Saints are going to be tough. So I'm going to go ahead and give up the 5.5 points and take the Saints.
All right. The next one is the Baltimore Ravens versus the New York Jets. Lamar Jackson, contract year. Didn't get a deal done. I'm going to take the 6.5 here. I'm going to take the over there. I think he's got something to prove. It's on the road. First game of the year. I'm going to take the Ravens there on the over with the 6.5.
I'm going to have to stick with Justin here on this one. I'm going to take the Ravens as well. Like he said, Lamar Jackson definitely has something to prove. The Jets, I hate to say it, New York, but the Jets have sucked for a long time, and they still got a lot of work to do to make that a decent team. Baltimore is already there. We know how good they are. They've been good for the last 3 or 4 years, and they didn't miss a step. The only thing they didn't get done was a contract signed with Lamar Jackson, and that just gives him an incentive to play even harder. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Ravens here.
All right. Our next one is the New England Patriots, excuse me, and the Miami Dolphins. This one is my surprise one. I'm going to take the total points. I'm going to take the over. 46.5. I think these teams can put up points in this game. That's a small line on the points, so I'm going to take the 46.5 on the over.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just bet the game, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Miami Dolphins, and I'm going to tell you why. All my life, Miami, when it comes to playing New England, you can look it up. They beat New England no matter what kind of team they have. They always beat New England. They beat Brady a lot. They really, truly did. And, I don't see nothing changing there. Miami has improved tremendously. They got great receiving core now. And Tua, if he plays tough, Miami's going to be a decent squad this year. So I'm going to go ahead and take Miami. Keep it sweet and short and just bet on Miami.
All right. This next one's going to be a very, very close game. They got the line very, very close. Baker Mayfield starting for the Panthers against his old team. I think he's going to have something to prove here. First game of the year. I'm going to take the Panthers on the money line and just take them straight up.
That's a good bet. They also got them at Pick'em in another sports book. But, right now it's 1.5. This is a really, really hard choice for me. I really don't even want to pick this game. I'm just picking it just because that's our show. I'm not going to bet this game. Here's the reason I'm not going to. So unpredictable. Cleveland was supposedly a ready-made team after they signed Watson for a Super Bowl team right now. Jacoby Brissett's going to be starting for them, so they should be decent. I mean, all they lack is a quarterback. Brissett's not a horrible quarterback. He's pretty decent. They still got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, so they're going to run that ball. They still got that great defense. I'm going to have to go ahead and take Cleveland on this for upset. I'd love to see Baker Mayfield win a game and beat Cleveland, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Cleveland.
All right, the next game we got is the San Francisco 49ers against the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field. Trey Lance, the new face of the 49ers. I feel that he's overrated. This is going to be my upset pick of the week. I'm going to take the Bears in the 6.5 points at Soldier Field.
Well, hopefully that ain't a bet from the heart since you're a Bears fan like me. I can't do that. I bet a couple times with my heart last year and it didn't pay off. I think the Bears are in rebuilding mode right now. I'm not really impressed with Justin Fields, to be honest with you. Trey Lance, I know nothing about. I didn't watch him in college, so I don't know how he's going to pan out. But I do know one thing. San Francisco has a great offensive line. They got a great running game. They got great receiver in Deebo Samuels. Defense is awesome, like I said. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take San Francisco and give up them points.
All right, our next one is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Washington Commanders. This one, it looks like a close game. It could be a close game in Washington. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars on the upset at the plus 130.
What do you think about the over and under on that one?
That's a small line. I'm locking the points. I'm locking the total points on that one. My second pick would be the over on the points.
I'll tell you what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to go the opposite. I'm going to go with Washington. Why? I have no clue. I think it's their defense. I mean, Trevor Lawrence looked pretty decent last year with Jacksonville, and Carson Wentz is their quarterback now at Washington, the Commanders. And I tell you what, this is his last year. You remember in 2018, he would have been the MVP. That's when they won the Super Bowl and he got hurt. And he hasn't been the same since that year. He's got potential. He's got great talent. His decision making is horrible. Hopefully he's thought about it and got his act together. If he plays like the old Carson Wentz, they're going to be a tough team. So I'm going to go ahead and take Washington and give up the points.
All right. Our next one's the division game, the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I feel like this is going to be a close game, but I feel like the Chargers have the stronger quarterback, stronger offense. So I'm going to take the Chargers with the money line on this one.
I'm going to have to agree with him on this one. I like the Chargers a lot. I mean, I love the Raiders. I've always been a Raiders fan, and they acquired Khalil Mack. They acquired the receiver from Green Bay. What was his name? Devontae Adams. Tougher than nails. So, I look for them to be very, very competitive this year. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers at home, though, and that's the only reason I'm taking them because they're at home.
All right, our next one is the New York Giants against the Tennessee Titans. Preseason projections, the Titans are going to be a very good top-tier team. The Giants have been very, very below average for several years now. I don't see this season being any different. I'm going to take the Titans on the money line there.
I have to go the same way. The Giants are too inconsistent. I mean, they have a good running back. Their quarterback is iffy. I don't see any changes in the Giants whatsoever. Tennessee has got a tough running game. You know that for sure. Mm-hmm. And they got a decent quarterback, and their defense is tough. So I'm going to go ahead and take Tennessee Titans and give up the points. What about the over and under on that one?
That's a very low. I'm not too keen on the Giants' offense there. I would lean towards the Titans there on the over with the points. So
sounds good. The next game, what we got?
Alrighty. The next one we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Arizona Cardinals. Chiefs, Super Bowl contender. Everybody knows they got Mahomes. That one, I would take the money line. That seems like it would be a sure bet. I'm not too keen on Murray for the Cardinals. I feel like he was too inconsistent last year. So I'm going to take the Chiefs on the money line there.
So you're going to get a big surprise on this one. I'm going to go the opposite, and I'm going to tell you why. They lost to Cheetah, the Chiefs did, and he was their deep threat. And I'll tell you what, they're going to be a different team this year. I guarantee it. They're not going to spread the field as much as they did the last previous years. And the Cardinals, I'm going to take them because last year, if you remember, they started out 8-0. And they are our first half team. They truly are. They're playing at home. Murray just got that big contract. They better do something. They got a good defense. They got some good players. I don't know if I think they lost Hopkins. I don't think he's playing. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they still got a decent receiving core, and I look for them to go ahead and cover. I don't look for them to win the game, but I look for them to cover. So I'm going to take the points and Arizona. It's almost a touchdown, so we'll see what happens.
They're giving a lot of points on that. They are. The next game, the Green Bay Packers versus the Minnesota Vikings. I still feel like Aaron Rodgers is an elite quarterback in the National Football League. Each line is very close. Vikings, I would have to take Green Bay on the money line here. That's the only one this week that I'm really iffy about. That could go either way. But I feel like Aaron Rodgers, proven MVP quarterback, he come to a close game. He's a closer. I'll take Green Bay there on the money line.
How about the over and under? What do you think about that? Could be high scoring, low scoring?
That one I feel like it's going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's going to be a shootout.
They both put up a lot of points. I would even lean towards the over on that one on the points.
I'll tell you what. I am going to pick an upset. This is my upset. I am going to take Minnesota. I'm going to take Kirk Cousins. Sorry, but hopefully he can have a standout game. It's going to be a close game. This divisional game stuff is tough. It really doesn't matter how tough the teams are. Traditionally, they play each other tough no matter what kind of team they got. So I'm going to go ahead and take the home team and take Minnesota Vikings to upset the Green Bay Packers on opening week.
All right. The next one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Dallas Cowboys. This one, I feel like there's too much Tom Brady distractions. They offensive line hurt everywhere. I'm going to take Dak Prescott and I'm gonna take the 2.5 points here. They're giving 2.5. I think the Cowboys are gonna win by more than that. But that'll be my pick for this week.
What about the over and under on that one? 50?
50.
50 and a half. That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points for. I don't think the Buccaneers are going to put up that many points this game. I don't. I would take the under on that one.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to have to agree with him on this one. This was my upset of the week. Because Tampa Bay's favored. Brady. I never ever bet against Brady. I love Tom Brady. You can see I did have him hanging up there. I took it down for the podcast. But I love Tom Brady. He's a great quarterback. He does some great things, and Tampa Bay's got a great team all around. But like he said, they lost Jensen, and he is an all-pro lineman. They lost another one. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but their offensive line is hurting really bad. And you know that. If you know football, you know our offensive line is one of the most important things. You know, they protect the quarterback. He isn't going to have that protection, and also he's got some off-field distractions that never bothered him before, but these seem a little bit deeper. And I think it's the Cowboys' time to shine. Dak and the Cowboys have been threatening to shine for the last 3 years. Haven't really come through. They're getting a little bit better here and there, and I like that Michael Parsons. Ezekiel Elliott can run the ball a little bit. I know their top receiver now is CeeDee Lamb. But I'm still going to go ahead and go with the Cowboys to upset the Buccaneers. And, Cowboys.
All right, our last game of the week would be Monday Night Football. The Denver Broncos at the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson back in Seattle. First start with the Broncos for a new team. I feel like this is going to be more of a close game than the line says. The points, I'm going to have to take Denver here on this one. Denver's got a good team. They've been needing a quarterback for years now. They finally got one in Russell Wilson. Denver, they have Denver as a potential Super Bowl candidate. I feel like Denver probably 10, 11 wins this year. For this specific game, though, I'm definitely taking Denver on the money line.
I'm going to have to go ahead and take Denver as well. They needed a quarterback, and in Wilson, they definitely got one. I don't even know who's starting for Seattle. Excuse me. But I know they lost Bobby Wagner and they lost Russell Wilson. Heart and soul of that team. I just don't see them being very competitive this year. Obviously, they're 6.5 point underdogs at home. And, a home team automatically gets 3 points, so they're basically 9.5. But, I'm going to have to go ahead and take Denver on this. I think they're going to cover, so safe bet Denver.
All right. That's our picks for this week, week 1 of the new 2022 NFL season.
Hopefully they'll help you make some decisions on your ticket. And like I said, be responsible with the gambling. And this is the first week. This is the hardest week to pick football, to pick the spread. You never know what teams are going to do. Usually around the third, fourth, fifth week, I'm in there. I could pick them with the best. So we're going to try to do, hopefully we're going to try to do our best the next couple of weeks and try to struggle through there and help you. And hopefully you'll be able to make a little bit of money. So with that, thank you so much for joining us. If you like our show and if we can help you out, please subscribe, hit the like button, share, let people know we're out here giving some good advice. And good luck this week, and hopefully you'll make some money.